Beautiful.
We are here on the Jersey Baseball Show tonight, Generation Next, our look at some of the top 2022s and 2023s, as we are in this case in the state of New Jersey. We are talking to Middletown South's Ben Schild, Big Ben, Big Game Ben, whatever we want to call him. We can see where he's going to school. He's made his verbal commitment to UConn, one of the top programs, certainly regionally, and getting some attention as a top program in the country. He'll be playing Big East baseball, a lot of baseball close to home. And welcome, Ben. I know we got some time before college still, so thanks for joining us.
Of course, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Let's talk first of all just the Middletown South junior year. So you're a 2023 verbal. Mm-hmm. Most people watching this probably know Ben as the kid as a sophomore who threw a 2-hit shutout in the championship game of the Group 4 tournament against Montclair, leading Middletown South to a state title last year. But let's talk about UConn, how that factored into the picture for you. A lot to be excited about. Fantastic program. You know, getting some like low-key Omaha talk we were saying for this year, and certainly built themselves up to the point where they're a national contender every year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have a great team. I mean, I love the coaches there. Coach Penders and Coach McDonald were kind of throughout me through like my whole recruiting process, and they're amazing. Like they're two of the best coaches like I've ever talked to. Like right away when I visited there, they just treated me like I was one of their players, which was amazing. And yeah, I mean, the program looks great. We have some really, really good recruits coming in the next few years. So hopefully we can go to Omaha this year. And then once I get there.
Yeah. And they've developed a reputation for development of their top guys. George Springer's the one that comes immediately to mind, but they've really done a good job with, getting good guys in and then developing them. Is that something that was a consideration for you?
Yeah. So, I mean, one big thing I had for me for my whole college recruiting process was I wanted to go somewhere that was not only going to develop me, but also give me a good chance to get drafted if I got to that point. And I mean, every year between 4 and 7 guys are coming off the UConn roster and getting drafted. I think it was six or 7 guys last year, which like immediately jumped out to me. Like it was always kind of like, I want to go to a Power 5 school for me, but in my opinion, like UConn's right there. They like basically are a Power 5 school, and they'll get me to the same place that all these places will. And I'm really excited about it.
Yep, and a lot of local in the Big East, right? So you'll still be playing Seton Hall, you'll be playing St. John's, Villanova. You've got a nice group, Georgetown. So you've got a nice group of schools that mom and dad and your family can still come out and see you without having to blow the budget on flight tickets.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was my mom wanted me to stay close, and I guess I listened.
Yeah. UConn's just far enough to be away.
Yeah.
And just close enough where you're playing enough games locally, right?
Yeah, it's perfect.
That's right. So another thing that I wanted to ask you about, your brother just finished 5 years at Monmouth. He got an extra year with COVID. So a bit older. Zach Schild, great catcher for Monmouth for a good number of years, part of leading a pitching staff that's developed into one of the best in the country. What has that meant to you? As you get older, as you appreciate him going through the D1 route and what he's done, what can he bring, or what has he brought to you to make you a better player?
Yeah. So, I mean, other than just like kind of teaching me the game, like teaching me the ins and outs, he catches my bullpens. He's like my own personal pitching coach and hitting coach. Other than that, for like recruiting especially, him and I, we both had very, very different paths. Like he had one or two offers and then decided to basically walk on at Monmouth. He had a spot, but his whole thing was kind of, once I find the right fit after I like the coaches, like decide on that. Don't keep waiting, because he didn't want me to get into a situation kind of like how he was. And I mean, I developed a lot quicker than he did, but he kind of just like every single time he was at school, and I would call him basically every night after I would have a call with a coach, and he just kind of walk me through everything they said and what it meant. And like, if me and him like a year ago, before I was even talking to UConn, we were like, yeah, going to UConn would be pretty cool. And then a few weeks ago, I was talking to him about it, and we were just like, it's pretty crazy that actually ended up happening, because me and him have always like loved UConn. I don't even know if it was the basketball. I know me and him had visited it when I was like a lot younger, when I was like 5 or 6. We'd been there, and then kind of just going through, especially seeing women's basketball, you'd always hear about UConn, and then men's basketball, you'd hear about it. It kind of just, once I got to the point of looking for colleges for baseball, that like right away for Northeast schools, that just popped up. Yeah. And like, I got really, really determined to kind of go there. Because I think my freshman year, before the fall, I like was really interested in UConn. At the time, they didn't have as much of an interest in me, so I got really, really determined to kind of change that, which thankfully I did. And yeah.
So let's talk Middletown South baseball, right? To have that state title run last year. First of all, it was kind of a weird season because everything was so short together, right? Mm-hmm. But to go on that run through June, go through states, to get the ball, to really dominate all year and get the ball in the state finals against a good Montclair team and just shut them down. What was that like? I mean, that's not something that sophomores usually do. And now it's like, what do we do now? How do we mentally get ready for the encore? Not just you, but the whole team.
I mean, last year was incredible. I mean, our team, we didn't hit for much power. We barely hit for contact. we bunted the ball. We stole bases. Our pitching was consistently good like all year. But for myself personally, I was, at the beginning of the year, I got like very amped up for the games, was very nervous. And as I kind of started to throw well throughout the year, I kind of got into a groove, and like I went into the state championship game not only with like a bunch of confidence that basically we were going to win the game, but also that I was like going out, like making a statement, like, you guys have no chance, like right away. Which, I mean, I think I struck out the side in the first inning, and like as soon as that happened, I knew we were winning. So
how do we mentally go about making sure that, because now you got a pretty big target.
Yeah.
You, but the team too. How do we go through this off season to embrace that role and be excited? Because I'm sure once you win one, you want to win two, and then you want to win three, right?
Oh yeah, I want one this year, and I want one next year. So, but it's I mean, I talk to kids from the team every day. Like, we prepare for it. We're losing a good amount of seniors, but like, we're really confident in kind of the underclassmen and the juniors and seniors that are going to be filling in for them. We feel like we can not even replicate the team we had last year, but even in some cases be stronger. we feel great about our pitching. We have a few sophomore lefties that are really, really good that we're looking forward to. We have some seniors that are really good, and then even some kids in my class that are starting to get a lot better at pitching. But we feel great about it. I mean, Coach Lamore, I really got to give a lot to him. We play the game how he wants us to play, and it showed that we ended up winning a lot of games last year, and it works.
Yeah, I feel like there's always a ton of good players at Middletown South and North, but South has always had that history and always going to lose a lot. But the good news is there's always talent there, right? I think it's just a matter of how the team kind of comes together each year, really, right? Because you're right. Some years it's kind of a different style or whatever kind of fits you might have some bigger hitters some year, but I think you guys are always good enough to do well, right? It's just a matter of being a team,
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, last year before the season, we kind of went into it like not expecting very much at all. Actually, we obviously Coach Lamore was new. None of us had ever played for him, and then losing our team in I think 2020, losing our 2020 team, which was absolutely like loaded. It kind of not hid like our talents, but almost hid our talent and what we were good at. So every year, Middletown South, we're going to come out with a great team, and hopefully we can have a run like we did last year.
Definitely. But the Shore is always Shore Conference is always pretty loaded, right? It's
Shore is always loaded.
Wall, it's some of the other bigger schools, right? If you get through there, you're in pretty good shape, I think.
Yeah, if we can, I know our coach is setting up a pretty hard schedule this year, but if we can win our conference games, we always do good in the Shore Conference tournament. So we hopefully see some teams in the finals and semifinals, and then we can win.
So let's talk about what your goals are for the winter, right? I mean, because certainly, I guess, really kind of touching, maybe getting into the low 90s. So it's not like you were, Chase Petty just throwing harder than everybody last year. You were, I mean, you pitch, you got great secondary stuff. You got a killer change and breakers, and you kind of have the full arsenal. What's the goal now? Is it just to just kind of get everything a little bit more precise each year? Do you have specific goals in mind?
I mean, right now specifically, I'm just training kind of just all like fast twitch movements, and then to just get as strong as I can, just trying to throw hard. But as soon as once I start like throwing bullpens and stuff, I'll kind of not only focus on like strengthening my arm to throw harder, but also kind of changing up my grips on my pitches. Like I'm trying to work on throwing a better curveball this year. My slider was pretty good, but I'm trying to throw everything as hard as I can, basically, and try to make everything sharp. And yeah, that's kind of all I'm focusing on right now. Just throwing hard, and once I actually get off a mound, actually like perfecting my pitches and getting them where I want them to go.
Yeah, you don't want to. You make that trip up to UConn, you don't want to be a spectator when you get there, I'm sure, right? You want to
absolutely
ready. Yeah.
I want to go there and be up top right away. So
you come out and absolutely shove in the state finals, which is, just obviously physically great, but mentally to be able to handle that game as a sophomore. Has that always been a strength of yours? Because I guess you said you were kind of, I wouldn't say nervous at the start of the year, but maybe really amped up because you really never really was the first time you were pitching varsity, right? Because there was really no ninth grade season for you with COVID.
Yeah.
So have you always been good about handling the big games?
I've been pretty good. I mean, I've definitely gotten. I used to get very nervous before games. I still get nervous before games, but I kind of, once I'm actually out on a mound, like everything just goes away. Like it's just me. I mean, my catcher last year was Greg Tresla. It was just me, Greg, and whoever hitter was in the box. Like I was just,
It didn't matter.
It did not matter what was going on. Like I try to block everything out. Like if teams are trash talking, like I try to kind of use it even more. Like I can't hear you, but you're just gonna get me more amped up.
Yeah.
And I like I said before, I wasn't even like really nervous going into the Montclair game. The only game I got really, really nervous for was playing Hunterdon Central, which was against a bunch of my Diamond Jacks friends, and then playing Ramapo, which was the first game of the year.
Yeah. You don't want to lose to your summer friends for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to hear about it all summer.
Yeah, I luckily we got them, so I got to talk to the boys a little about that. But
That's right.
yeah, those were two really big games.
Let me hit you with a couple of random questions here.
Sounds good.
We'll see how creative or how quick you are. Favorite part about Middletown South other than baseball season?
Freedom, the freedom we have, kind of just we have a bunch of courses, so you can take whatever you want. Like, yeah, just like the freedom.
It's early. You got 2 years, but what do you think you want to major in college?
I want to do something in business.
Well, that's good because then you make the majors and you can be your own agent, right?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Favorite pregame, or I guess what I should say is, are you a music person on bump day?
I am, yes.
So what's our what's our go-to?
So usually like for like an hour to 30 minutes before the game, I listen to straight country music. And then from 30 minutes to game time, it's either like really hard rap or like rock and roll.
So you want to get pumped up, but you don't want to get pumped up too soon in the day. Is that what we're saying here with your?
Yep.
Okay. All right. See, I read you with that. It makes sense.
Yeah, it like during like school days, I'll like think about the game all day. The country music kind of just takes my mind off it. And then 30 minutes before when I'm starting to throw, I get the pump up stuff going and then just go out ready to fire.
Seemed to work, so don't change it.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Do you have any must-have game day meal?
Oh, usually no. Usually just a bang energy. One of those. That's
which food group is that? Do we count that as a must-have?
I don't think it counts as a food, but
caffeine and sugar should be a food group, I think.
That's what gets me. I don't eat a crazy amount before games. My pitching coach, who's Mark Leiter, he always told me he'd eat early in the morning and then pitch hungry and pitch angry. So I've always done it since.
What is one thing that most of us don't know about Ben Schild?
I used to play the drums.
All right. When you say used to, you mean until what age?
Until last year, actually. I was in band in school, and like I never like actually showed my friends that I could play the drums, but I was actually pretty good. But I kind of stopped doing that once I just started working out and playing baseball.
What is I'm gonna have to cut this now because I had one and I totally blanked.
Yep.
You got me with the drums. I wasn't expecting that.
I was gonna say I'm a very good spike ball player, but I think that's a given.
Yeah, you got the size, right? You got enough mobility. You should have the power. Spike ball is that I think we still like to play would be my guess.
Oh yes, that's awesome. I play that all the time with my friends. That and ping pong. I'll take anyone.
You're better at which?
Ping pong.
Okay. Pure power game, or do you go with like the slice and the spin and all that stuff too, or both?
Oh, kind of a mixture, but mostly just spinning it and just returning everything. It's more fun. It's more fun that way. They
More
get
fun
angry.
because you annoy them too. You annoy your
Exactly.
opponent much. Like you can't beat you.
Exactly.
Proudest, other than winning the state, throwing a shutout in the state title game, that's a little too easy. So we're going to go second proudest or second best moment you ever had on a baseball field.
Oh, 12U All-Stars. We won our district final, and I think that game I like threw a complete game and then hit like a home run or two, and that was like that whole like tournament run. I hit one or two walk-off home runs in that. So that whole thing just always stays with me.
Were you big when you were little too?
I was always big, yes. Always big.
Chipotle, yes, or Chipotle, no?
Absolutely.
Okay. I haven't heard anybody in the short conference say no, that's for sure. So must be down there even more so than everywhere else. Or you think that's just regular high school yes?
But that's a regular high school yes. Everybody loves Chipotle.
Favorite subject?
History.
How come?
I find it really interesting to see kind of like the mistakes we've actually made in our history and how stuff has changed so much. Yeah.
What would you tell? Well, you're only in 11th grade, but what would you tell junior high you, middle school you, that you've learned since then that you think that like 8th grade Ben would need to know?
Oh, for baseball or for life?
It's up to you.
I mean, I could do one in both if you want.
Yeah, sure.
For baseball, go out and throw as hard as you can every single pitch, and then for life, do your chores. Because I used to always get in trouble for that.
Makes everybody happier at home, right?
Oh, it's much better this way.
Last one. One piece of advice or quote that you've gotten along the way that's really stuck with you and kind of you've made it into something that you do every day or practice regularly.
I don't know the exact quote, but it was basically, if the best players in the country are from Florida and Georgia and they're working all year, what am I going to do so that I can match them when I'm in a cold state?
Because you can't get outside all the time, but you better be working all the time.
Exactly.
Excellent. Well, I can see how you got to where you are then. Obviously, the work ethic is there. We got a couple more years to shine in high school, but certainly get yourself ready for UConn. I know you have the support along the way to help get you there too, both in the school and with your brother and kind of a really good network. So we look forward to watching and seeing where your journey goes, Ben. Thank you for taking the time, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely, a lot of fun.
Ben Schild, our guest today. We'll be looking for him at Middletown South this year as he as they try to repeat as Group 4 state champs. That's it for the Jersey Baseball Show. We look forward to catching you next time.